crank it up. I'm Jim Price, and today I want to introduce another of the 11 Titans that will be included in the 10th anniversary expansion. While the Secret Smash-Up Puzzle Cabal already knew that there were 11, it's been interesting to see people make assumptions about which 11 historical factions are getting a Titan. Not many have considered the possibility that mermaids, skeletons, or world champs have a Titan, or that a previously released Titan was revised. But that's neither here nor there, because today's Titan is a new Titan for an existing faction, one that admittedly surprised me. Given that nearly every faction has someone who thinks they need a Titan, someone watching this will inevitably say that they predicted it, but honestly, I'd love to know why specifically. Now, which Titan is it? Well, the answer lies in why, when I'm trying to cut back for the summer, this Titan video is going live today. And that's because it's Shark Week. Yes, sharks are getting a Titan, and to prove a point to at least 2 people who shall remain anonymous, I will spend the entire video talking about this very real Titan by its fake name, Titan McTitanface. But before we get to Titan McTitanface's ability, we have to talk about consequences of sharks getting a Titan, because this is very jarring for me. We also need that context to understand its ability. Sharks are supposed to be the answer to destruction, routinely cited as destruction done right. If they got a Titan, to me, that means that destruction is objectively bad, and no faction has gotten it right. You can also infer which other factions get a Titan as a result of this. This is really significant because Take That was a significant part of the game's identity, and for a not necessarily modern, but not ancient faction like Sharks to still get it wrong, when conceptually the right idea is there, that calls a lot of things into question. Most notably, how are players playing Sharks? Does this Titan exist because they are misplayed? I never thought that they were an S-tier faction, but they were definitely solid, and I thought Gabriel Holland did a great job in his Shark segment for factions Bandit just doesn't understand, making a case for them. There are a lot of players who swear by Sharks, so something must be getting lost in execution. But let's move on to the ability. First, the Titan needs to come into play. Titan McTitanface has a time box-like counter accumulation, but it can accelerate it any time a minion is destroyed. It doesn't matter who the controller is or the victim, and this is significant because I've talked to players who say Titan McTitanface can take too long to come out, specifically with the threat of clashing, and of course I'll talk about that in a bit. But this Titan will eventually come into play, and when it does, it has surprisingly strong abilities. Note that you lose the power counters like Time Box, but that doesn't matter, because I found that Titan McTitanface delivers a lot of value in a short time, and if McTitanface stays out for a long time, it's game over. This is because of something that I call the 2-box rule, the seeming insistence that all Titans must have 2 abilities, which I envision as boxes. I do this because it's very difficult to imagine a box that is extremely narrow, which means that there is a subconscious effort to deliver really good value with both of them. If you want to give sharks a Titan, give them one ability. That they got both of these abilities is a bit of a head-scratcher. For the ongoing ability, we have to talk about the principle that killing all individuals makes you lose, or Kaimal for short. There are a lot of players who think that beating your opponents to submission is how you win, but that rarely works. Ask Bear Cavalry. This is because it creates a war of attrition that destruction factions are usually ill-equipped to win. Sharks should win it because they have Makos, Hammerhead, and Blood in the Water, as well as destruction in Phase 3, but they still manage to lose apparently. This is because of a failure to understand how Kaimal works. Instead of timing destruction to make it set up solos or swing bases, they are played for control. This is because of talent-based destruction largely. In my life, I have found that if you give players the tools to be a jerk, they will often be a jerk and not use them responsibly. I wonder if that's what happened with Sharks, because the ongoing ability absolutely factors into the Kaimal philosophy. Instead of letting destruction remove the power, Titan McTitanface can move to the destroyed minion's base and gain its power. Well, technically, you the player gain the power rather than Titan McTitanface, and there is a subtle nuance there that I wonder if anyone else noticed, and I doubt was intentional. This is a really strong ability because it allows the destruction to set up a solo potential without the loss of power. In fact, with all of the Shark abilities, it turns into a great net gain. It still triggers Hammerhead and Blood in the Water, it still triggers Makos. If you aren't ready to break the base, you can give Titan McTitanface a counter, but only once per turn. This is a bit curious because I feel like it might incentivize people to still do repeated destruction, which is what got them into trouble in the first place, but I have found situations where it matters, so it's okay. And because of the Kaimal principle, if that was all that Titan McTitanface did, it would still be a great Titan. Sharks would be a faction that truly understood how destruction works. But no, There is a second box, which has two abilities itself. Titan McTitanface can recur a minion of power 3 or less, or it can directly grab a Mako from your deck or discard pile. This is extremely strong, pulling those Makos out for an eventual burst. It's card draw and power. For those who say that Titan McTitanface is slow, I would counter that the immediate impact is quite large. You can grab a Mako from your deck, which is effectively drawing a card. When you destroy a minion that turn, you convert its power and play the Mako. That's an easy 5 to 6 replacement power at a minimum, plus the other shark benefits, and it's hard to counter this without destruction prevention. And in the case where you don't have to worry about clashes, Titan McTitanface drawing a Mako every turn is really strong, because it acts like a monarch that contributes less power. I have never been tempted to shuffle the 3 minion in, but I understand why it exists. It lines up with Blood in the Water, and if you are inefficient with sharks, you need more minions to burst that way, but the way I play them, Mako's all the way. Again, if you just gave sharks this ability, Titan McTitanface would be a great Titan, but it got both, which can create some really powerful combinations of sharks that required equal parity opponents in order to match them. For the sharks themselves, I think this is best triggered from their action. The greater the power, the greater the swing. You can be liberal in your use of Makos because you can get them back. In the case where Titan clashing is not a risk, that's where I find the power counter matters, because you can rely on the Mako burst, and then use Titan McTitanface for the second burst on another turn. Titan McTitanface lets you fully lean into the strategy sharks have for even greater bursts, and though I personally think it leans way too strong, we'll see how the rest of the community feels after they play it. So who benefits from this Titan externally? The first faction I had to try, which I thought of immediately, was Magical Girls. Titan McTitanface can grab the Makos from your deck, which Lunar Captain can recur. If you can get them out quickly, you can get them all within 2 turns. The Magical Girl 1s are perfect for eating yourself, since you can gain more power that way and gain triggers for Titan McTitanface, using them as bait for Great White. The Magical Girls also have their own destruction package that can trigger Titan McTitanface, as well as moving them onto position. Magical Girls love the extra minion plays from Makos, which can trigger additional destruction or movement. Imagine using Power Maid to save Lunar Captain after she recurs Megalodon. Magical Girls appreciate the card draw from Week of Sharks, and the Magical Girl minion recursion is faster than shuffling it in with Titan McTitanface, allowing it to focus purely on Makos. This combo was insane when I played it, because with that level of recursion, they can win the war of attrition, and I just need to keep you impressed until they are set up. There are a ton of great things I like about this combo, such as finishing with Rainbow Girl for Blood in the Water. Another combination that immediately jumped out to me is Lion King. When you play Wildebeest Stampede, you lose no equity and in fact gain a lot. Rafiki makes it even easier to recur Makos because there is less power to exploit and only needs to be 1 minion. Circle of Life circumvents the needs for recursion via shuffling, which is really good for Rafiki to repeatedly draw Makos. This makes drawing Makos from your deck with Titan McTitanface really significant. Lion Cubs can grab Makos if you already have your Great Whites, because the opportunity of Makos is too good to pass up, and Lion King has some swarm-friendly cards. When you eat Mufasa, you can replace that power, and Simba can also replace Mufasa's power, so it becomes a 10 power gain plus all the Mufasa benefits. Scar would incentivize sacrificing a higher power minion because of the replacement power, and once you start to overdraw with sharks, they become incredibly strong. Zazu is a great Blood in the Water target as it's basically a 5, and Timon and Pumbaa can keep the deck stocked so you don't trigger a reset. With a destruction cantrip in Hyenas, sharks are well equipped to destroy and burst at the same time, even if there is a deceptively subtle witness rule violation there. I really liked this combo before the Titan, and Titan McTitanface sends them into overdrive. Speaking of killing your own leaders, we have to talk about axing the big bad wolf. Rarely is it a net gain that I deem worth the effort unless I'm playing gritty critters, but with the ability to get that 6 power back, it's really great. What I love about this combo is that you can effectively telegraph this play and still get away with it. It requires cards being in the right spot, which is hard with the shark draw, but you can destroy a 4 with a big bad wolf to bring out the Titan. Because Titan McTitanface is optional once per turn, it means that if it was already in play, you can trigger it once per turn, but it doesn't have to be the first time. So when you axe the big bad wolf, it can gain its power of 6. Red Riding Hood is great for Blood in the Water, or one of the search candidates because it makes the Mako stronger. If one of those minions is Megalodon, you can potentially start with just Blood in the Water and destroy up to 11 power total for a solo score. With the Grim Searching, this is not that hard to do, and you don't have to burn your Charming combo or Teamwork. I actually found myself eating Griminions when I didn't want to burn a Teamwork because I wasn't going to see the match anyway, but a Griminion with Blood in the Water is not a bad idea either. In fact, since Blood in the Water has limited reactions, if you had both, it wouldn't be hard to get both good minions into play as extra plays, and if you destroy a 4, you get an 8, which really helps with the Shark game plan. For my final combo, I wanted to revisit a classic combo and see how the Titan changes it. And while you may think that it's fairy sharks it's actually shark truckers. Sharks have always been a faction that have base modifiers, but isn't a base modifier faction, so it really flies under the radar, and all of their original plays still apply. But we have to look at the specific nuance of Titan McTitanface's ongoing with the fact that the player gets the power, not McTitanface itself. There is a play here that I wonder if anyone considered, which is intentionally losing a clash. Because of sharks come from behind nature, as well as the active player manipulating the order of events, it's possible to gain a surprise advantage here. You can destroy a minion on a base with someone else's Titan and choose to do Titan McTitanface first. You'd lose the clash, but still gain the power because ongoings have to be resolved first. Then you play Makos in Blood in the Water. Why would you do this? Because Titan McTitanface is once per turn. After you've triggered that, there is no reason for it to stay if you gave it temporary power because it's done everything it could. But if it leaves play and you do more destruction, you'd start gaining counters faster, and this definitely applies with Great White and Megalodon. In fact, you could trade a Mako for a counter to get the Mako back anyway 1 turn sooner. This could even trigger another Blood in the Water. With Megalodon destroying as a special, that's an easy counter to speed up your plan by 1 turn. But truckers have a much more elegant solution. Because the power stays there, you can easily use Cab over Pete to move Titan McTitanface and keep it in play. This is basically saving you a bunch of turns of setup again. Given that truckers can get second place with a hard to destroy action, you can definitely save up and explode when you need to. Blood in the Water and Skinny Mini gets even better, as you can use Skinny Mini to move it there, trigger it, play a Skinny Mini, then move it back. I have always enjoyed this combo, and with Titan McTitanface, their deep playbook got even wider. Titan McTitanface is certainly strong, but if you are ignoring the fact that Titans are optional, it does solidify the Shark game plan and show what destruction factions are trying to do. But more than anything, and unfortunately I don't have time to go into this a lot, I feel like this opens up the idea of eating yourself. One of the hard counters against sharks is preventing destruction, but this incentivizes them to destroy themselves because they really aren't losing anything. This allows them to use destruction not to stall, but to burst and replace the power you removed. Titan McTitanface captures the principles of Kaimal really well, and if you are a Shark fan, I think you will enjoy it. What are your thoughts on Titan McTitanface? Who will you try first with it? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Let's shut it down.